A very good afternoon to you. I hope you had a very fantastic week. Mine was awesome. Thank you for asking. Well, this is On The Sport Show. We have much and more lined up for you this particular Saturday, the first day of February, the year 2025. Indeed, it is a great way to usher in the show to you from the world of sports. We have so many activities lined up for you, from the rugby all the way to the football and athletics. And just to be precise, today we'll be having a very interesting discussion, two set of discussion. Just on Thursday, the Kenya National Paralympic Committee of Kenya held its trial here at Kenyatta University playing grounds, and of course to select a team that will be representing the country in the upcoming championship. And of course that particular process is over. The team is currently hitting the camp running ahead of the upcoming championship that will be held in this particular month on the 6th of February. And we had a one-on-one discussion with the president, and he gave us some insight of what to expect in this particular year, and of course how the future looks like, and a reflection of the 2024 Paralympics that were held in Paris, that is in France. And I will be having still a very interesting discussion with Coach Derek Oganda about the national, or rather the County Football Federation Women League, just to give us perspective of what to expect this particular season, and of course a sharp focus on the development of women football in the country. So it's a very interesting discussion that we'll be having later on. Don't forget, you're still tracking the Football Kenya Federation Premier League fixtures. 3 matches are on the card today. Today is Saturday, and of course we have a couple of matches that will be played tomorrow, and we'll be switching gears and focus on the English Premier League, the Battle of the Titans between Manchester City and Arsenal. A very interesting match there, and of course we have some very interesting analysis and statistics in regard to these two matches. One had a very shaky season. Actually, all of the team had a very shaky season, ups and downs, the roller coaster ride, but they are really picking up the momentum. Arsenal are on the 11-match streak, that is the winning, and I think this is their best run since Unai Emery. So this is the best run of matches under Mikel Arteta, 11. And of course, Manchester City, after a very bad turbulent in between the season, they are now 6 months unbeaten, and they have a very interesting analysis when it comes to the new year. And record has it that Manchester City is a very hard team to beat, especially from January until the end of the season, at least for 2 previous seasons. And that tells you the caliber and of course the momentum that these particular matches, these two clash between, the clash between Arsenal and Manchester City, the intensity and of course what to expect. And that is something that we'll be bringing to you later on our subsequent sports review, just to bring you up to speed. Kama wewe ni mwekezaji, then you will know where to put your money. Will you put your money where your mouth is? Well, after this very interesting analysis and of course statistics, then I'm sure utakuwa well equipped to invest. Anyway, so we have much and more lined up for you in that, and to be standing by just to bring you up to speed with what is happening in the Kenya Cup. This is the match day 7 of the Kenya Cup. A lot of fixtures are lined up for today, and of course we'll be tracking and of course bring you up to speed to tell you who is where at what time and who has scored against who. So those are the matches that we are following up. But don't forget our question of the day. We are asking you, between Arsenal and Manchester City, who will reign supreme? You can keep talking to us on all of our social media platforms. We are coming to you live on YouTube at KUTV Kenya. You can also talk to us on X at KUTV_Kenya, at Auma Events, the hashtag to use on the spot. Well, so we are just about to bring you up to speed with some of the highlights that will be forming the basis of our show today. All right, now let's head you straight to what we have prepared for you that will be forming the basis of our discussion. Remember, we have a pretty much lined up for you today in our show. And we have the newest signing for the Tusker FC fans. I'm talking about Auma. This is the new signing from the Tusker FC. And of course, he is very confident that he will win titles with his new club. Remember, the signing of Auma comes at the backdrop of speculations that their main talisman might be leaving the club anytime soon after getting interest from Algerian side, that is Algiers, who are really keen to get his signature in regard to that. And because of that, Auma has officially joined, or rather Auma has officially joined Tusker FC. This is Ugandan midfielder Dennis Auma on 1-year contract from Police FC in Kampala, with a possible departure of top striker, that is Ryan Wesley Ogam. Ogam is a subject of interest from Algerian side USM Algiers, who are keen to sign him. Auma, who was to join the Brewers at the beginning of the season before the move failed to materialize, believes that he can win titles with the Football Kenya Federation Premier League side Tusker FC, who are the 13 times champions of the Kenya Football Federation Premier League. All right, so that is the signing of Dennis Auma from Kampala Police FC, who officially now joins Tusker FC as their newest signing this season, with much hopes and, of course, anticipations of winning more titles with the club, despite the fact that I'm signed just only 1-year contract. Anyway, very interesting there. Now let's switch gears from football to para-athletics. Now the Kenya National Paralympic Committee has concluded the trials to select teams that will represent the country in the upcoming championship. The team, which comprise of experienced and new debutants, will be banking on a pool of talents from the newbies for future success. Take a look. The search for the team to represent Kenya in the upcoming para-athletics and powerlifting games is over. This is after the Kenya National Paralympic Committee concluded team selection process at Kenyatta University playing ground.
These championships will be used to select athletes who will be representing the country in various international events. The first one being the Faza Dubai Grand Prix from the 6th of February to the 14th of February next month.
The next step for the team is to hit the ground running in training camp to sharpen their skills before major tournament.
There's a team that will be joining the camp from tomorrow. The team that will be participating in the Dubai Grand Prix will join camp tomorrow, because we were waiting for this event so that we can select athletes to join the camp. So they'll join the National Residential Training Camp from tomorrow up to the 5th, when the team will depart for Dubai.
The team, which is a blend of newbies and experienced athletes, will be banking on a pool of talent drawn from the exercise to improve on Kenya's ranking in the global arena.
So what is important is we start preparing for LA 2028 now. And I'm sure come LA, we'll have a better performance. But we did well in Paris, we don't have any regrets.
In words of Ronald Milare, the past doesn't really matter. What counts at the end of the day is looking forward for a brighter future. Auma Evans for KUTV at Kenyatta University Playing Grounds, Nairobi. All right, so that was team selection for the para athletics, a team that will represent the country in various sporting disciplines, from the 100 meters, that is track and field event, all the way to powerlifting. And that particular, now the team is intact. The team is hitting the ground running, and the next step is now delivering on their promises. Key, very important details that the president highlighted, that is Ronald Milare, that for now, it's not, the past doesn't really matter. What counts at the end of the day is the preparation that you are putting right now that will determine the future of the next pair of athletes that were selected, that comprise of experience and the newbies. And that was the clerical call, among many other arrays of promises and of course pledges to the stakeholders to chip in and support the team. And we'll be having that discussion later on, that we had a one-on-one sit down with the president himself to highlight some of the key interest and of course what to expect this particular year, the 2025. Now let's switch gears to some rugby action. Now Menengai Oilers are set to host Nadis at the Nakuru SCK Showgrounds today in the Kenya Cup matches. Both teams have unblemished records. The stake couldn't be higher as they battle to preserve their invincibility. Meanwhile, the wounded Harlequins face yet another uphill battle, squaring off against the formidable KCB at the Den in their third consecutive grilling fixture. Black Blood embarks on their first road trip of the year, venturing to the Kakamega Forest to challenge the reigning champions, Cabras FC. It will be a battle of survival as South Coast Pirates, with just one win under their belt, host a desperate Nakuru RFC Indiani. At Mamboleo, Kisumu RFC and Mwamba will face off in yet again a high-stake showdown, while Impala RFC will be hoping to overcome Strathmore Leos after securing their first win of the season last weekend. Right, so those are the Kenya Cup fixtures, Mechi Motomoto, and of course fans will be thrilled even as you turn out to support your favorite team. This is the battle of the Titan in the Kenya Cup as far as rugby is concerned. Remember, we have the defending champions, that is Cabras Sugar, will be up against the Kenyatta University best side, that is Black Blood. In that particular order, they'll be there to dream against the champions. And of course, this particular season race is really taking shape with two teams, that is the likes of Menengai Oilers throwing their heart in the ring to make sure that they stake their dominance and claim in the Kenya Cup 2024-2025 season. And that is very interesting fixtures, and of course we'll be here to update you on what is happening in various field that those particular matches will be played, or rather will be playing at exactly, that is 3 p.m. East African time. It's just I think a couple of few minutes before the kickoff. All right, now to some football action. Africa Football Governing Body CAF has unveiled the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations draw featuring 6 pools. The host Morocco will take on Comoros in their opening match slated for 21st of December 2025 alongside Mali and Zambia. Egypt will take on South Africa, Angola and Zimbabwe in Pool B, while Uganda, Tanzania, 3 times champions, that is Nigeria, and 2004 winners Tunisia, will battle it out for glory in Group C as Senegal, DRC Congo, Benin and Botswana iron out in Pool D, among other fixtures. All right, well, I was going through the fixtures, or rather the pools, and I could see we have Uganda, our neighbor Tanzania, we have Sudan, na niko tunajiuliza tulikosea wapi Mungu? Kenya tuko wapi? Na by the way, sisi ni wanoma, ukitucompare na Tanzania, surely. Anyway, God have mercy. Alright, still matters football. 3 matches are on the card as the Football Kenya Federation Premier League action gets underway. The FKF Premier League giants Gor Mahia will be hoping to return to the winning ways when they take on Posta Rangers at Kenyatta Stadium. At the same time, Mathare United will travel to Machakos to face off Talanta FC at the same venue. The Narok-based outfit Mara Sugar FC will travel to Western to face off Kakamega Homeboys at Mumia Sports Complex. On Sunday, league leaders Kenya Police will welcome Sofapaka at Police Sacco Stadium, while Shabana takes on the Slums Boys, that is Kariobangi Sharks, at Gusii Stadium, as Tusker quite out with KCB in the FKF Premier League action, among other fixtures lined up for this particular weekend. Aya, kutoka Kenya, acha niwapeleke moja kwa moja paka majuu. Now, in the English Premier League, Nottingham Forest will welcome Brighton at the City Grounds in an early English Premier League kickoff before Newcastle square it out with Fulham at St James Park as Leicester City travel to Goodison Park to rub shoulders against Everton. On Sunday, Manchester United will play host against Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. At the same time, Brentford will be looking to pile more pressure on Tottenham Hotspurs when the two teams meet at GTEC Community Stadium, as Arsenal welcomes Pep Guardiola's side at Emirates Stadium in the Battle of the Titans. Chelsea will wind up the match day 24 action with a clash against city rivals West Ham United at the Stamford Bridge on Monday. Alright, so tomorrow ni siku ya ndovu kumula mwanawe. Pale Monday tukanyage West Ham. By the Monday inakuanga very lucky day for Chelsea. The last fixture that we won was against Wolves on Monday. Tukawakanyaga. Hii West Ham tunawakanyaga tushikilie bridge. Nasikia rumor so sijui bridge kuna venye inaenda kuanguka. Tuna repair na hii West Ham. Tunawakanyaga, tunashika mambo then tunarudi penye tulikuwa. Anyway, so Manchester City against Arsenal, that is on Sunday, tomorrow, a big match. Invest wisely. I can tell you for sure, this one, kuna mtu lazima ataumia vibaya sana. And this one, anyway, namurumia sana, lakini I can tell you for sure awezi. Na if anyone alikuwa na any intentions of sijui title hopefuls, well, you can sit back, relax and enjoy the race. Uone kama maybe Manchester City watachase Liverpool ama watawajoin in kusoma label. Anyway, so that's a big match, and of course our question of the day, we are asking you, between Arsenal and Manchester City, who will reign supreme? Keep talking to us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, we are coming to you live on YouTube at KUTV Kenya. You can talk to us on X at KUTV_Kenya, at Auma Events. You can engage with us using the hashtag on the spot, and we'll be sure to sample your feedback during and at the tail end of our show today. Anyway, so let's move on from now the English Premier League to some UEFA Champions League action. Now, Manchester City will renew their rivalry with Real Madrid in a blockbuster championship, or rather Champions League playoff, with Celtic taking on Bayern Munich in a bid to reach the last 16. PSG will face off Brest in a bid to book a spot in the round of 16 after failing to seal automatic spot after finishing below top 8 teams, as Juventus squared out with Netherlands-based side PSV. Other teams set to battle it out in the playoff include Monaco vs Benfica, Sporting Lisbon and Borussia Dortmund face off in a do-or-die affairs. Okay, interesting times, right? Well, just listen to this. Real Madrid, Manchester City, Juventus, PSG, Borussia Dortmund, big dogs, big names, giants, they are all fighting for a spot in the last 16. It's amazing how football sometimes can really, shock you and shock the world, and actually wakufanya tu ukiwonder, what is happening? The giants, Real Madrid are the defending champions. Manchester City, immediate defending champions, all eyeing for a spot in the last 16. Angeweza kufunga the bracket of the best 8. We have the likes of sijui Aston Villa, naona Arsenal pia wamejaribu, wamejipata pale, unashangaa kunaenda aje. Anyway, both teams wako na chance to redeem themselves, and let's see, between Manchester City, Real Madrid, who will be packing? Big one, right? We'll be waiting to see how events unfold. Anyway, we want to take a very short break, but before that, don't forget, I have a very amazing guest. We'll be talking about the FKF County Women League, a very interesting discussion. You know, when we talk about the Women League, now these are the future of Kenya. In fact, when I talk about the future, by there I talk with a lot of humility and boldness. It's only the ladies team, or rather the ladies side, when you manage to carry the Kenyan flag in the global arena. I'm talking about the World Cup. Now can make history as the first team in that process. That's very important to take a look, or rather to reflect on this momentous occasion, and of course the process that bring this success that we so take much pride in. And we'll be talking about the Women Football League, especially the County Women Football League under the Football Kenya Federation Premier League, with my guest Derek Oganda. He is the head coach of Kiwanja Thriving Queens, and we'll be having that discussion, a very interesting one and amazing one, and we'll talk about the state of women football in the Kenya, what to expect moving forward, and of course the trajectory now that we are very much in the new year at a very early stages. So what is the momentum, and of course what should we expect moving forward? Very interesting discussion, right? Anyway, and don't forget, we had a one-on-one discussion with Ronald Milare, the Kenya National Paralympic Committee president, and he gave us some insight about the team selections, the projections of this year, and of course the upcoming events and what to expect in that regard. So those are two interesting discussions that will be coming to you later on. And don't forget, we'll be also taking a look at stories making headline. We have a couple of matches in the Kenya Premier League, in the English Premier League. We have the UEFA Champions League playoffs, and these are some very interesting fixtures. And we'll take a look if probably maybe your team make moves. I'm gonna hope for the best. Don't forget, keep talking to us and get to us on all of our social media platforms. We are asking you our question of the day: between Arsenal and Manchester City, who do you think will reign supreme? Well, talk to us. Anyway, now let's take that very short break. When we come back, plenty more to follow after this very short break.
To select athletes who will be representing the country in various international events. The first one being the Faza Dubai Grand Prix from the 6th of February to the 14th of February next month. And subsequently we'll be having other events in Marrakesh, in Tunis, in Georgia, for both powerlifting and for parathletics.
How many events to go?
For the athletics, we have several categories. We have, of course, track and field. So in both track and field, we have the category for the visually impaired, which starts from 11 to 13. 11, 12, 13. That is the category for visually impaired. We also have this other category for the cerebral palsy from 32 to 38. That is for cerebral palsy, both T and F, track and field. And then we have the T46 category, T46, 45, 46, 47 category for the amputees. Like myself, I'm a T46. And then we have the category of T51 to 58. Those are athletes who have an impairment on the lower side. That is one leg or two legs or both legs. That is the T51 to T58. And then we have the T40. The T40, the category for athletes with dwarfism, the short stature. And then we have the T20, that is the category for athletes with intellectual impairment. So those are the major categories that were participating in this event. And for the powerlifting, we also have categories, but that for powerlifting, they are categorized according to their body weights. Yeah, but for the powerlifting, the bench press, mostly they have an impairment on the lower, on the legs, or they have an impairment in regards to height, short stature. So those are the two categories. And then there's a third one for the visually impaired, who are doing the deadlifts and the squats. So those are the categories that have participated in this championship.
All right, now that we are looking forward for these events this particular year, so as the trials actually come to an end today, so what has been some of the key highlights? What should we expect moving forward?
The key highlights have been the turnout of newcomers. We've seen so many athletes who are participating for the first time in para games. We've seen students as young as 13, 14 years old participating for the very first time. And this is a very positive thing, because as you know, the road to LA 2028 has begun. And this is the stepping stone. We need to tap the new talents right now for them to be ready for LA 2028. And the turnout has been impressive. Nearly 400 participants have taken part. And that is the highlights of this event.
All right. Talking about the turnout, which is something that is quite impressive, and I understand that probably this could be the right step in the right direction. But your message to probably some athletes who might not have had the chance to participate in this, but they have the ambitions and even the talent that as the federation you're looking out for. So what's your message for those athletes but that they are still probably have not had the chance to take part in these trials today? So, and is there any measures in place to make sure that you reach to more athletes and expand this bracket of new pool of talent?
Actually, you will realize that nearly 3/4 of the participants here are newcomers. And that is, it means that we are doing something. It means that there's word out there that para games are here. And what I may take home from this, because you see, we didn't expect so many newcomers. And with this, and you've seen the surprises, the newcomers have really outshined the veterans. I'm sure when they go back and they get the opportunity to represent the country for the first time, I'm sure that will motivate others also to join the sport. Because when they see their new ones coming and taking over and representing the country, that is a big motivator. And that is what we aim to achieve. So in these events that are coming up, we'll do a blend of the newcomers and the veterans so that we can give the newcomers exposure and this will also attract others to come and join.
All right. Talking about exposure, are we expecting now probably training camps after the trials?
Yes, there's a team that will be joining the camp from tomorrow. The team that will be participating in the Dubai Grand Prix will join camp tomorrow, because we were waiting for this event so that we can select athletes to join the camp. So they'll join the National Residential Training Camp from tomorrow up to the 5th, when the team will depart for Dubai.
Just how important is it for we Kenyans and of course the larger world at abroad to support the sport itself?
First of all, I want to thank the Kenyatta University fraternity for partnering with the Paralympic family to host this event. This is, I think, is a step in the right direction, and we want other partners like KU to come on board so that we can partner and grow the sport. I want to appeal to well-wishers to come in and support para games, because as we speak, we normally rely on the government almost 100%. All our events are catered for by the government almost 100%. And I want to take this opportunity to also thank the government through the Ministry of Sports, Youth and Creatives Economy, who have been our greatest supporters and financiers. So appeal is to the well-wishers, the masses, because you see, para-sport is not different from any other sports. Para-sport, in fact, has more benefits than even the other sports, because apart from the inclusion and integration, there's that part of rehabilitation, and that is a key aspect, and social integration. Apart from the economic and social, there is that aspect of rehabilitation to reintegrate people with disability back into the society through sports, and that is something that should be supported by the entire community.
From your own perspective, even as you call for sponsors to come on board and support the athletes in this very important endeavor as far as growing the sports in the country, where do you think we really need to tighten the nut at this particular point?
Well, I think with funding, usually funding has been the major challenge. Without funding, things cannot really move in the right direction. So with that support, financial support, and also not just financial, but also having people coming on board to advocate for the awareness that we have para-sport, so that because there are so many people out there, people with living disability who do not know that the sport is here. So if we can get people also spreading the word that we have para-sport in the country, and get out our people to come and play and enjoy, I mean, that would be a big thing for me. So getting the word out, and of course funding. Talking
about funding, now that you have talked about getting the word about the sport out there, now we are talking a very important component in this, now the branding. Because I'm talking to Mr. President himself, when it comes to now the branding and the marketing, how far are you as a federation? And of course, is there a mechanism in place to make sure that even as we talk, we actually walk the talk?
It begins with you as KUTV, get the word out there. I mean, you have the power for publicity. If the media, both print and social and electronic media, can help us get the word out there, then that would be something that, I mean, that is the biggest thing for us to get the word out there. And you as the media can do a lot for us in getting the publicity out there so that we can market ourselves and be known. Media.
Right. And now talk to us about the different categories that I understand it began on yesterday on Wednesday, and today is the last day of the team selection. So how many categories are you looking for this time round? And so far, even as we prepare for the future, it is important to reflect the past. I'm talking about the recently concluded event, that is the Paralympics. I want to get your views and of course your perspective on Team Kenya in terms of preparedness, and just how far are we even as we eye the ball to the bigger prize.
The last year's performance was very competitive, but I must say we did not come back empty. Since our debut in the Paralympic Games in 1972, we've never failed to win a medal at the Paralympic Games. And that is a tradition that we must keep, because as much as the competition was tough, we came back with 1 silver medal. We are proud of the performance that we put out there in Paris, because the athletes gave their all, they broke their own personal records, and they gave their best. So what is important is we start preparing for LA 2028 now, and I'm sure come LA we'll have a better performance. But we did well in Paris, we don't have any regrets. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for making time, and we look forward for future engagement, and wish you all the best even as you select the team to represent Kenya in the upcoming events.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, so that is Ronald Milare, the president of the Kenya National Paralympic Committee, giving us, or rather putting us into perspective about the future events, what to expect in this particular year, the 2025, and giving us reflection on the 2024 Paralympics Games that was held in Paris. But the most important things, anasema yaliyopita si ndwele, tugange yajayo, to reflect on what is the most important thing, early preparations for the 2028 Paralympics that will be held in the United States of America. And the preparation begins right now. The team selections, very young players with a mix of experience, athletes in that case, and the future can only look brighter. Last time, we won 1 silver. In the coming next championships, the para-athletics, the Paralympics, we might win many medals. That was the promise and the clerical calls from Ronald Milare, and of course calling on stakeholders to support the team in terms of funding, and of course a very genuine challenge from the media side to focus and be the ambassadors of para-athletics. Anything to do with para-athletics, games, support, spread the message. And of course, from me to them to you, I've done my part. Never spread the message. Over to you, others. Anyway, so that was a very interesting discussion that we had there with the president himself. And of course, we look forward for future engagement, and many conversation we'll be tracking. We'll be following the team to see if they will live up to their words, and of course the expectation that they have set for themselves, and that is something that will endeavor to bring it to you. Now, from para-athletics and team selection, let's talk about something very important. Now you are switching gears to football matters, and of course we want to take a look at some or rather a discussion about the women football, the state of women football in the country. And today we are privileged and glad to have Derek Oganda, head coach of Kiwanja Thriving Starlets, and of course we'll be talking about the County Women League, the Football Kenya Federation County Women League. The team will be taking part in the FKF Kiambu County Women County League, and we want to take a reflection on that and try to bring the conversation home and invite you to be part in person of the conversation. You can talk to us on all of our social media platforms. We are coming to you live on YouTube at KUTV Kenya. You can tweet us on X at KUTV_Kenya at Auma. The hashtag to always to use is on the spots. So let's get this conversation underway. Coach, once again, thank you so much for making time kututembelea to have this very important discussion.
Asante for hosting me again.
How was your week?
Wiki imekuwa poa. Tumekuwa zoezi, tumekuwa na plans. Ndio tunajaribu kuingia weekend sasa. Tuko na matches zime line up zenye tumekuwa tuna practice over the week. So wiki imekuwa poa.
Wiki imekuwa poa. Nimeona umekuwa busy sana. Una try ku sharpen the youngsters wa mold of the future stars.
Tunakazana kwa sababu ni responsibility. Tumepewa na God to make sure future football yetu inaenda ikimprove. So tunaichukulia very serious, tunaifanya na roho. tuna push.
Okay. Now we have seen the transition actually from the academy, and now let's say utakuwa una celebrate your first competitive assignment because this is the first time the team will be taking part in the Football Kenya Federation County League, and that's quite achievement if you ask me, given the fact that the journey penye mmetoka, because nimekuwa nikifollow closely. Well, first of all, the fact that you're now taking part in the FKF County League, just how special is it for you and of course the academy?
Hiyo ni swali poa. Tumekuwa na jani penye umesema. Wasichana wenye naenda kuchezesha kwa county ni wasichana wenye tumeanzia nao wakiwa wadogo sana. Wali join team 2016 2017 hapo, na most of them walikuwa class 3 4 5 hapo. So unakuta imekuwa safari. Tumejaribu kuwa mold to level hii yenye sasa imefikia, yenye tunataka tuwajaribu kwa competitive matches kwa league. So itakuwa first time yao ku participate kwa league. Na ukiangalia timu yetu mostly ni under 15s.
Under 15s, yeah.
Wasichana ni under 15s, so unakuta hii itakuwa experience poa kwao kwa kujaribu tu kuwa push forward, kuonyesha watu onyeshe nini wamekuwa na learn hiyo time yote, sababu ni safari venye umesema. Na tumejaribu kuipush mpaka penye tumefikia hapa. So hii ni special kwetu kwangu kama coach, na pia I know kwa players wangu, sababu wote wako na anticipation, nataka kuona tutaperformaje. Hii ni mara ya kwanza tunacheza ligi, tutakuaje. So kwangu pia ni learning, I think itakuwa kama jani, kama kulearn pia, tuone nini na nini hatukuwa tumefanya yenye tunafaa kufanya, kwa sababu hii nayo ni platform nyingine. Sio zile zenye labda tulikuwa tunacheza matona zinaisha hiyo siku tunaenda home, tuna train hiyo wiki, after 3 months labda tunacheza games zingine friendlies. Now hii ni ligi, tunataka kujitrace tuone tunaendaje, tumefikia wapi. Yeah, so ni special kwangu na pia ni special kwa wasichana wangu.
Okay. The mood in the camp ikoje? Because yes, kuna hizo excitement, jita, it's something very new, very fresh, and of course for your crop of players this is quite huge. The first time, and your squad is comprised of very young players, and they'll be coming up against very experienced players wenye wamecheza in the counties for quite a while, and this is, you know, it calls for a lot of humility and of course hard work. But so how is the general mood kwa camp?
Mood kwa camp iko sawa. Wasichana wamekuwa na train, so wako na confidence. Anytime na share nao kuhusu tunaingia kwa ligi, wote wako ready, wanaonyesha from action. Tumecheza friendlies, so kila mtu ako prepared. Na pia tumejaribu kuwapea friendlies na teams zenye tuna anticipate kupatana nazo. So tumeonyesha si kitu itakuwa itarequire a certain level of confidence pia. Kwenda wakiimprove, wakilearn each and every match. So mood iko sawa, wasichana wako confident, na tuna anticipate kuanzia kesho juu wako na game ya kwanza kesho. Hiyo mood itabakia hivyo as we learn, as we move, sababu ni wasichana wadogo bado, so hatujawawekea pressure sana. Tumewaambia hii ni learning moment, twende to learn season ya kwanza, tuone tutaperformaje. After hiyo tutakaa chini, tujireview, tujue nini na nini tunafaa kuimprove. Kama tutakuwa tumepanda sawa, kama hatutakuwa tumepanda itakuwa bado tumelearn. Bado tumegain experience, turudi hapo tukiwa strong.
Okay. And now talking about now ku gain experience na kurudi mkiwa strong, this especially the step that nyinyi sasa mmechukua, and of course as a football academy now transitioning to at least now taking your first competitive assignment in the county football. Well, this talks volume of enormous hard work and dedication and determination to see the level of football in our country elevated to the next level. So let me take your account on your thought on the state of football, especially the women football in the country, where given the transition, okay, draw the experience from your own initiatives and of course from where you began until where you are today. In that reflection with what is happening currently, where do you see the state of football in the country, especially the women leagues and of course the women football at large?
Mi upenda kuwa positive kwanza. State ya women football in Kenya inaenda ikimprove. Tuna improve each and every moment. Changes zina come, tunaona developments zikihappen. Sahi venye umesema, at least kama academy tuna produce team yenye inaweza compete in women football. Sahi ukiangalia hata new changes kwa FKF from venye wana handle vitu, unaona kuna development zinaenda zikichange already. Sahi kuna office specific yenye na deal na women football. In terms of administration, hapo tuko na yule former player wa Ulinzi Nedi mwenye anajaribu kutupush, tukiwa na mashida tunaenda hapo, at least anata anaingia kwa ground. Tukirudi Kiambu naangalia women rep wetu pia anajaribu kupush, tunapush kila kitu. Sahi already tukiangalia kama for example ligi ya Kiambu yenye tunaenda kucheza, tuko more than 14 teams. So hiyo inamaanisha ladies teams zinaenda ziki increase to a level yenye county kama Kiambu inaweza divide hizo league mara mbili. Tuko na pool A na pool B. Meaning team zinaenda zikijitokeza, women wanaenda waki come up, support inaenda ikipatikana, leadership for example yetu ya Kiambu kuna hiyo encouragement. Tukienda for example tukiingia game yetu alianza last week, kuna teams zilipewa balls. So unaona state ya women football inaenda increase, grow kila moment.
Okay. And now nimesikia mention about the new leadership and kama wengine obviously waka swing into action. Probably Waswahili wanasema mgala muwe haki mpe. The last administration in terms of women football, tuseme walijaribu hata kama si sana, lakini at least walijaribu try and focus on the women football and the growth of women football in the country. Well, do you think maybe sasa sahi maybe this one it'll do much better given the trajections unaona, ama ni wait and see what will happen?
Kwanza tunaweza anza na kushukuru hiyo regime imetoka, kwa sababu ilikuwa kama eye opener. Tuli learn a lot kwa hiyo regime in terms of venye tuna handle women football. Unakuta kuna loopholes zilikuwa mingi, though kuna vitu zilifanyika. Tuli qualify kwenda under 17 World Cup, tuliona ligi for example NSL ikianzishwa ya ladies, but still loopholes zilibaki zenye zilitu open macho kama stakeholders wenye tuko kwa board ya madem, zenye at least tukichagua new office tunaiambia tuko na hii na hii na hii yenye tunataka muiweke into place. Na nashukuru at least Hussein Mariga na the entire FKF wamechukulia women football na kuiweka ahead, kwa sababu from venye wamechukua ofisi unaona vitu zina happen. Mimi kwa hiyo regime mwingine siku hata najua women rep wangu ni nani, but sasa inamuona kwa ground. Kukuwa na ofisi kama yenye wamepea Nedi, but sasa inaweza approach Nedi, nimpigie simu nimwambie tuko hivi na hivi. Chances zimekuja, FKF unaona inatu provide na na hizo chance. Registration ya ligi sasa hata wametuwekea flexible. Kwa mfano Kiambu nimelipa 1,500.
Kitambo kama lipa ngapi?
Kitambo unaingia ligi unaambiwa labda ulipe 7,000 na unalipa once, unakuta inakuwa ngumu wezi, ama 15,000 uwezi weza kuilipa once. But sasa wako flexible kwa sababu unakuta wana encourage teams zijoin. So mimi nilipa 1,500, hii nyingine nikamwambia nitalipa pole pole. So unaona approach yao inakuwa kitu inaeleweka. Pia wanakuelewa from your side, wanajua kuna a lot of challenges zenye tuko nazo kama academies, kama teams. So wanajaribu kuketa vitu kama hizo.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, sitaki hata tupatiane excuse why we are not doing good in terms of focusing on the women league, because at the end of the day, step on that pitch and we're competing against other nations, what counts ni results. It's not about sijui, you know, sisi hatuna sijui infrastructure, sijui what. So what can we learn? And this is a reflection on Africa. Africa tuko na teams that are really trying. We have the likes of South Africa in terms of investment, wako far. When you go to Nigeria,
Morocco.
They're trying. Morocco. These are teams yenye tukienda nje to compete against them, we can see the quality and the caliber. Now, ukiangalia, like, we are not far off from them in terms of even when you look at the economy, the matrix that comes into play. And but ikikuja in the football wise, kuna mahali tunalegeza kidogo. Well, this discussion maybe have it over and over again, but because we are talking about change and the things that you want to do and see our football transition to the next level, then kila mtu lazima play their share, and this comes with the level of commitment enye individuals, let's say like you, una put into place. Then we have the community, and of course kuna part ya government, part of the federation. Now let's join these together. So the question will be, what can we do as a nation to make sure that tunaanza sasa to take those baby steps?
Naweza sema kama nation tunafaa kurudi kwa basics. Basics in terms of tuanzie na coach. Makochi wetu tumewaikuipaje? Are they knowledgeable enough kuweza kuproduce talents zenye zinahitajika pale juu? Especially wenye tunafanya kwa grassroots. So federation imechukua steps gani? So tunaanzia kwa hapo kwa coach. Coach akiwa knowledgeable vizuri, products zitakuwa sawa. But sasa tukikuja hapa kwa grassroots na ukute coach hana knowledge, so ile kitu atakuwa na impact kwa watoi for the development yao itakuwa noma, kwa sababu sema coach hata KUTV yenyewe hana, hata masomo yenyewe hana, labda alikuwa tu former player akakuja akachukua team akaanza kucheza nayo ikakuwa hivyo. So kuna hizo basics zenye tunahitaji. Kuna wakati player ana develop anafaa kuwe nayo. For example, from under 11, mtu under 11 anafaa jue kufanya hivi na hivi. Under 13 anafaa kuwa na hii skills na nini. Under 15 ukifika competitive uko hivi na hivi. Hizo vitu zote zinakuja from the basic. Huyo coach anajua kitu anafanya. Number 2, support. Na hii kitu nimesema sana. I think hata last show tuliongelea support yenye inatoka kwa government in terms of kusupport watu wenye wanawako huku chini kuproduce our players wenye mnawangoja huko juu. Sababu mimi for example, mimi na deal na watu up to 17 years. Wakifika pale 17 nafaa nikuwe nimeproduce player mwenye ako na chance ya kuitwa national team. Umeona? So usipo support huyu jamaa ako huku chini anakutengenezea players huko juu, utakuta players wanafika pale juu wanakuwa wachache sana. Pool ya players yenye national team coach anapewa a select from inakuwa ni just ordinary. Hakuna exceptional talents, hakuna players hawajui. Unajua inafaa ikuwe ngumu kwa national team coach kusema this is my 18 players ama this is my 30 squad provisional list. But sasa unakuta kwa sababu players wetu hawajatoka huku chini na foundation poa, wanafika huko juu ndio utakuta sasa story ya age cheating inaanza, kwa sababu unakuta jamaa ko 18 ndio sasa ile skills zenye alifaa kuwa nazo 16 ndio ako nazo. So unakuta coach ataanza kusema nini sasa huyo 18 tumshukishe miaka akuje 16 atuchezee. Umeona? So ni kitu development wise ni kitu tunafaa kwanza kuangalia ule coach yako kule chini tunamsupportaje. Then tuna invest how much kwa huyu coach in terms of networking. Unajua makochi wengi tunai-coach village type. Wachezaji wako ni wapo tu kwa hiyo village yenu. Unaweza kuwa hata uko na talent nzuri but hawako exposed. So wewe umetengeneza players wenye wanajijua ni master wa hiyo village yenu. So ukitoka hapo nje unakuta developments ziliendelea. So in terms of pia exposure ya macoach kuexpose watoi, kuexpose hizi development talent zenye tuko nazo. Tutoe watoi hapa, tuwapeleke Nakuru, tuwapeleke Nairobi, tuwapeleke wapi, tuone wanalana. Hata akifika huko mbele unakuta mtu anasema ule player ni mzuri, kwa hivyo anaonekana. So in terms of pia hiyo ni kitu responsibility ya sisi macoach sasa wenye tuko huko grassroots. Tuwezi kwa tu tuna train players wa kuwe master wa village, tunataka tutoke nje. So in terms of kuexpose watoi, hiyo ni kitu kina misana huko kwa grassroots. Support ya gava, hiyo hata si ya kusema, kwa sababu wanafaa tu support. Wanafaa tu waangalie, sababu utafika kule juu aje, utafika kuchezea under 18 under 17 aje kama huku empower huyu coach mwenye ako huku chini. So ukisha empower, me believe ukiempower coach mwenye ako huku chini, huko juu utakuwa hata na stress.
Okay.
Utakuwa tunakufeed players wenye unahitaji. Unataka namba 5 wako na skills gani? Ndio huyu tunakupea, kwa sababu tushamfunza, tuko knowledgeable enough, tushamcoach vizuri, amepitia development stage zote. So amefika ile level ya ni wewe tu tuambie qualities zenye unataka. Upewe.
Okay. Talking about qualities unataka kufeed the national team, tell us, kuna mwenye already usha feed so far?
Tunaangalia, at least by God's grace, tumekuwa na wachezaji wenye wamemeet qualities zenye zinatakikana national team. Tuko na mmoja mwenye ako provisional list already, anaitwa Pamela Adhiambo. Tuna expect labda by God's grace akimake kwa final list itakuwa sawa. Tuko na mwingine anaitwa Angela Mudhoni, alikuwa amepata chance ya kuitwa under 15 but because ya passport issues hatukuweza kumpeleka, but sasa at least tumesort hizo vitu. So next time akiitwa haitakuwa challenge. So at least tunasema tumeproduce talents zenye ziko quality inahitajika pale national team, by God's grace.
Okay. And because time pia ina fly, wacha nikupatie hii kama hiyo closing remark. Kamera yako nadhani ni ongea na Wakenya.
Kwanza nataka kushukuru new management ya football kwa sababu ya chance zenye inapea women football. Hiyo tu priority yenye imepea women football imetusaidia sana ku come up na ku raise awareness kwa madem, kuambia pia sisi pia wao wanaweza ku represent venye machali wana represent. So ya kwanza nataka kushukuru federation. Ya pili nataka tu encourage hiyo demo wako hapo nje, mwambie hii ndio chance uko nayo kucheza, so itumie poa. Tumie poa, jiwakilishe, kuja train, kama ni league participate kwa leagues, kwa sababu inchi inakuhitaji pia sisi tunakuhitaji, kila mtu anakuhitaji. So hii ni chance yako kuja kushine. Kitu ya mwisho nataka kukushukuru pia kwa kutuhost platform kama hizi, ukuwa muhimu kwa sababu hii ni information inafaa kwenda huko nje. Na watu wakisikia huko nje pia inakuwa poa kwa sababu ya support yenye wao wenyewe personally the public inapea ladies teams, ladies football. So tukikuwa na platform kama hizi mingi, media engagements, ndio inakuwa rahisi ladies football kujimarket huko nje pia. So nataka kushukuru pia KUTV kwa hii chance na kwa hii moment.
Okay. Well, pia sisi tunataka kuwashukuru sana kwa kuproduce talent yenye hopefully tuna hope like hiyo under 17, hiyo ni World Cup qualifiers. I hope tutamsani Pamela Adhiambo. Tutamfollow sana tuone kama atafanya ile mambo. Juu hivi dinafaa. Yeah. And of course, well, that has been a very interesting discussion about matters state of women football affairs in the country. And of course, you can see knowledge iko and with the right support, mambo inawezekana. The future is for the living. So to invest on the future. And the future ni watu sasa ni Auma youngster wakina Pamela Adhiambo, tuwa support. Wasikue tu ma village stars. Watoke huko, waenda hata majuu, wapige ka friendly moja kali sana, wajulikane huko. Ama namna gani coach? Kitu kama hiyo. Anyway, so that is where we this is where we actually have to end it at this particular time, this discussion about the state of women league in the country. And we've been talking about you know, the FKF County League with head coach Derek Obenda. He is the head coach of the Kiwanja Thriving Starlets, at the same time Kiwanja Soccer Stars head coach at the same time. Is a man mwenye ameinvest time yake sana ku nurture the young talent, ku make sure that the next pool of players both in the country and of course I'm sure hii ndio dream yako now even in the international spheres ata produce the next Victor Wanyama, McDonald Mariga, Olunga, na unaweza produce ule mkali kama mimi. Nilikuanga na talent though. Ni venye mguu kidogo ikienda combo nikaacha. But hiyo ni story for another day. Anyway, so thank you so much coach, and we hope to that everything will work out and your clerical call it will see the light of the day. Anyway, don't forget, we want to take a very short break. When we come back, bado tunakuengage our question of the day. Arsenal or Manchester City, who will reign supreme? Naona yana ananiangalia lakini najua kitaumana. Anyway, sasa we'll be back. Alright, okay, so remember the question of the day. We are asking you the battle of the Titans, Arsenal, Manchester City. Tomorrow is the day. So, who will reign supreme? That is the question of the day. Keep talking to us on all of our social media platforms. And of course, let me give you a very interesting statistics about these two teams this particular season. Well, one team got a very impressive record when it comes to now the the stretching. Wanasema ando timu inajua kupull off. Ando the likes of Sifan Hassan after marathon kuna wanaanza kuset pace then wanakongoja mahali fulani. I'm talking about now Manchester City. Well, history has it, and hii hata ukiagi unaweza enda Google free of charge, hata nimekusaidia hata nimekuwekea hapo. Inasema hivi, since January ikianza tu hivi, Manchester City ni ngumu sana kupigwa. In fact, out of their 40 appearance, it's only one team limewapiga, na hiyo ilikuwa ni Brentford only, na hiyo ilikuwa the season 19 I mean 2022 2023. Well, so that is very important to take a look at these particular statistics. So Manchester City, will start with the away team. Manchester City are unbeaten in the 6th Premier League. Kumbuka walikuwa na very bad season, kidogo wakayumba but wakashika form. So they are unbeaten in 6 Premier League matches. Then the Blues have scored the most goals in that time. Kwa hizo games 6 wamecheza, wamescore 18 goals. So kama wewe ni mtu unapenda hesabu, unaweza piga hesabu uone ni mabao mangapi hivyo wamekuwa kiscore. So that is the life of Manchester City. And remember I told you, since the beginning of every year, Manchester City have lost just one of their past 40 Premier League matches played from January until the end of campaign. And I told you, out of that one, ni Brentford peke yake ndiyo wapiga. So watakuwa wanacheza na Arsenal na in February. Kumbuka nimekuambia from January, so you can tell. So when I was telling you about to invest wisely, I'm bringing you home. Sasa hiyo ni ya Manchester City. So wacha tuangalie stats za Arsenal before sasa tuende kwa conclusion. So Arsenal, remember this time round the away team, or rather round the home team. So Arsenal are unbeaten in 13 Premier League matches. They have won the most point of any side from their 11th match of the season. Well, the last time actually walikuwa na that impressive season was during Unai Emery. So this is the best record ya anaitwaje Mikel Arteta. Well, you can see that. Longest unbeaten run under Mikel Arteta. Longest. But tukuje back now to the history ya Manchester City during their opening of a new year. Out of 40 only one. So watakuwa wanacheza na Arsenal. So unaona utainvest wapi? Because numbers sometimes, statistics will lie. Much of the time statistics inakuanga very correct. So Arsenal versus Manchester City, who will reign supreme? So that is our question of the day that we are asking you. Who will reign supreme? Now they are away team, that is Manchester City. They are unbeaten in their past 23 games of in their last 23 of these games across their past 2 campaigns. Wewe hapo iko mulima, hapo kuna noma. So hapa ningependa sana Arsenal watufanyie ile kitu, lakini hii ni ngumu. hii ni ngumu. In as much as wako Emirates, but this one is a tough one for the Gunners. And we really hope maybe kama watafanya magic, of which I don't see this time around, because Manchester City, this is a team on a mission. They have a point to prove, a history to set, and I don't think kama Arsenal will stand on their way. But with these statistics, you can put your money where your mouth is. Invest wisely. Thank me later. But here some insight. So, usisahau our question of the day. Even as we wind up, the conversation still continue on our socials. You can talk to us, continue chatting and discuss about this. Between Arsenal and Manchester City, who will reign supreme? Talk to us. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comment on this one, even as we wish Arsenal all the best. Wajaribu sana, wajaribu. Juu wakishika City, sisi kama Chelsea, by City inatuacha na points 2. Tukikanyaga West Ham, tunakuja hapo juu. Tunakuwa kwa hiyo bracket ya Champions League, then tuna maintain hiyo momentum. But Arsenal ikikanyagwa, Arsenal ikikanyagwa tutaombea hapo tuone how things will be. Now Kevin Maronga anasema like congratulations, so show imekuwa moto sana, and of course thank you so much for that. And remember, you can still talk to us on all of our social media platforms, even as we wind up being told time is not on our side. And we want to thank you all for all those who made this production a success, from you, our esteemed viewers, for always keeping us a company in the last 1 hour and 30 minutes or so. Thank you so much for that. Let's do this next time, same place, same time. Until then, you have a lovely weekend.